If we apply this principle to going across membrane, we have a final point given as a table. The table is entitled drug transport across a membrane, and that table reminds you that there are three mechanisms broadly for chemicals to go across lipid membranes. Passive diffusion is the classic way drugs will get through membranes, essentially down a gradient, not requiring any energy. There's no carrier involved. Everything is linked to that surface area and solubility of the drug. But there are two other mechanisms that require transporters. Drugs may use transporters, particularly to get into cells. And if drugs go down their concentration gradient, no energy would be required. That's what we call facilitated diffusion. When energy is required, this is what we call active transport. And energy is always required when you go against a concentration or an electrical gradient. Common to facilitate diffusion and active transport, the fact that there are carriers. And carriers, as you expect, are proteins most often. And those proteins, there are only so many proteins per square inch of membrane, telling you that depending on how many molecules of drug there are, you may very well saturate those transports. When you saturate those transports, you would not be able to bring any further molecule across this membrane. A great place to think of facilitated diffusion and active transport certainly is in that kidney tubule, where reabsorption, secretion are generally carrier-mediated events which quickly saturate. I'll remind you for this the handling of glucose in diabetics. You know that glucose, small molecule, water-soluble, is freely filtered and greatly reabsorbed in our body so that we can reuse it for our biochemistry in order to get some energy. However, those transporters are very quickly saturated beyond a certain blood concentration that is reached by diabetic, and after that concentration is reached, most of the glucose is peed out and found in the urine. Same thing can happen to drugs. Always associate a high concentration of drug with the possibility of saturation of secretion and reabsorption. By far, passive diffusion, though, will be our main mechanism to go across membrane.